Hey, what's up, guys? Hardy here. Today we're going to be doing an axe guide. I've played a lot of it. I've played Taros a lot. I've top 8'd with him in tournament, and I'm still maining him in twos. So I decided it'd probably be good to do an axe and maybe a hammer guide after this. I'm not sure. Let me know if you guys would want that. But anyways, let's get right into it. Alright, so to start off, we're going to go over the attacks. We're going to start with the grounded attacks, and then we'll go over the aerials. Alright, so starting off, we're going to go over Endlight. Endlight's pretty much like an unreactable move you can use in neutral. You can use dash Endlights. It's just like a way to check your opponent if they're dashing a lot or something. It's really hard to punish if you're using this move correctly, so it's not that risky to throw out. Like, if you look like it's got very little recovery frames on it. So it's just really good ground control. The D-Light is going to be a really good anti-air option. You're going to use this when they're on their way down, usually when they're out at jumps. Most people will jump every time, and then on the way down you can catch them with it. It's also pretty hard to punish. Those two grounded moves on Axe in general are really good. And then you have Sidelight. You're not really going to throw this out in neutral too often. It's usually when you bait an attack out and then punish with it. It obviously goes into a true combo, but we'll talk about combos and reads later. But yeah, you might catch landings with this, but you're not really gonna throw it out in neutral unless they throw like a punishable option out and you're punishing. Alright, so now we're gonna go over the aerial attacks, starting with Dare. Dare is like one of your best options on Axe. You can go into the ground with it and it'll cover both sides, and I believe it goes into a true combo like that. It's really good for landing, and if someone's like jumping one jump height, you can just jump Dare to catch that. If your D-lights are missing. You have Nair on Axe, which you can drift into, so it's not punishable. This is one of the most unpunishable moves on the kit. So if they're like in the air and you go for a Nair, you can drift away or towards them, and then you go falling, so you're not getting punished. Obviously, it has combos, and there is going to be your kill option aerial. You're not really going to throw this out in neutral most of the time unless they're in kill percent. Maybe like a max range punish or something like that, but I mean, you have Dare, so there's really no reason to go for Sarah over Dare unless it's going to kill. You have Ground Pound and Recovery. Ground Pound, obviously, you would use off stage for a confirm or something. You can use Ground Pound in reads, something like this, to keep it simple. If they dodge certain ways, this will catch. If they don't dodge, this will catch. Same with Recovery. You can use it to get back to the stage or for reads. Or if you're going to really like hard call out your opponent, you can just jump Recovery in neutral. Cody Travis does this a lot actually against like a floaty opponent. He'll just jump Recovery, call him out with it. He like jump and then fast falls and does it. He does it a lot more in twos than ones though. But yeah, those are the aerial moves. Alright, now that we've gone over the aerial and grounded attacks on the kit, we're going to talk about playstyles, the different types of playstyles, and like how I play with Axe. Alright, so starting off, we're going to go over the grounded playstyle. Usually when I play grounded, I bait out attacks with sidelight, usually like one jump and then fastball, maybe two jumps, and then you go back to the ground instantly. You're going to use a lot of dash endlights that are unreactable, and you're not going to want to let them float. You're going to want to hit them with a lot of downlights. Sometimes you can go for an air, but as long as you're good at like catching landings with downlight, you'll be fine. That's pretty much like all there is to the grounded playstyle if you're like a really grounded player. I don't suggest just staying on the ground the whole time. You do have to use jumps, but most of the time you're going to go down pretty quick. Alright, now we're going to talk about the aerial playstyle. So the aerial playstyle is pretty much you're going to jump a lot, mixing up landing with dares, like different types of ways. Maybe you'll jump 3 times one time and then do dare. Maybe you'll jump twice. You don't want to do like all your jumps every single time and then come down because you're going to get predictable and they're going to catch you landing. Most of the times you are going to be landing with dare, like the occasional nair or Sarah, if like you're coming down and like they're on the ground and then they jump, you can come down with nair and you're not going to get punished if it misses. So it's a really good option. If it misses and they come down after, you can D-light them or like move out of the way, obviously, because that's like very little recovery frames and you can drift out of it. But you do have to mix up how you're landing a lot. And you can throw in like the occasional Sair for the kill. I don't suggest playing super floaty if you're looking for the kill. It can work, obviously, because Sair hits hard, right? But if you're on the ground, N-Light and D-Light are like impossible to avoid every time. So you're eventually just going to chip them down with like dash N-Lights or they're jumping and then you D-Light them. So that's like the way I usually kill with Axe if I can't hit a Sair. Other than that, you can throw the weapon away and get another one or like maybe hit a Sig or something. In my opinion, those are like the two ways that you can play Axe. I personally like to combine them. Like I'll throw in mixing up like floating and playing on the ground, and then like I can use that to bait out attacks with the jump fast fall into dare, and then they get used to that, and maybe I'll just throw in like a dash end light instead of starting to float around them or something. I think that's like how you should play it, is you combine those two. I know like Stingray does a really good job of like grounded axe gameplay if you want to see that, and like Zexus does a really good job of like floaty axe gameplay. But yeah, depending on like who you're fighting, one playstyle might work better than against the other. Like if they're super grounded, the floaty playstyle might not work if they're really good at catching landings, so you might have to mix it up. So just try out what works for you and then see how it goes. Alright, so we're just going to go over some combos and reads for the weapon. Starting off, you have like Dare and a D-Light on Axe. Even if it's dodgeable, like you don't hit it true, it can be true, but if you don't hit it true, a lot of people won't dodge this anyways, so just see if they dodge it when you do it, and see what, I'm not sure if it's true at like low dex, I think it is, but it might not be depending on how you hit it. So like that's an option you can go for, just be careful if you're low dex, it might not be true. Then like for Axe, if you hit Sidelight Nair, GC D-Light is a really good option off of Sidelight Nair because it catches wake ups, it catches them jumping, it catches them not dodging basically. Um, and Sidelight Nair Ground Pound catches almost everything that is not a wake up or certain like a few certain dodges. And if they figure a way around Sidelight Nair Ground Pound, that's where you can kind of just follow them and then Sair them or Nair them again, or maybe recovery. But the reads are really simple on Axe. Like it's just like Sidelight Nair Ground Pound, GC D-Light, or just follow them and hit them with like Sair. That's all I do with it anyways. You don't have to have like some super complicated reads off of Sidelight Nair. And then for Dare, if you hit Dare like this, and they dodge down, you would just go into Dare. If they spot dodge, you go into Dare. If they like, you'll just do Dare into Dare a lot on Axe. And if they start dodging up, for example, you can do something like Dare, 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 or you can do something like this. Something like that. So you have options to cover these. They're really simple too. Things like that. You don't have to go like super like crazy with the reads. Just it's pretty simple and like straightforward. You don't go for like some GC sidelight. Like this is too risky in my opinion, and not worth the reward. But yeah, like the reads are really basic. Like you have like sidelight at night if they don't dodge, or if they like were to dodge in, for example, it'll say like they dodge in for this, right? You can do things like this. I just don't think it's worth like going for super risky dodge reads. Just keep it simple. Like look, ground pound will catch that. You don't have to go for Sair. What else? We'll put them to upright. Like ground pound catches that. Like it catches almost everything. So yeah, just keep the read simple. Alright, so now I'm just gonna go over like some tips with Axe, like general tips. The first thing being, find what SIGs work well with Axe moves. Like down SIG works really well after, like Terra's down SIG on Axe works really well after Dare, and SIG on Ragnar works really well after Dare on Axe. Things like that. Like you can do Cider to chase dodge side SIG on Terra, so it's really risky, but if they dodge in, like you can hard read that. Type dodging in at lower health, you can get a kill really early in like light orange. So find which SIGs work well out of Axe moves. Like this is just like one that every Terra's player does, you know? And there's a bunch of those kinds of combos with Axe, so figure out which works for your character. So another tip is you're really typically going to be playing slow on Axe compared to other weapons, unless they don't know the matchup, because obviously like this is really punishable. You can't be throwing this out first, and if you're floating a lot, it's gonna be a slow match, you know? That is how Axe is usually played. If they don't know the matchup and you can get away with a lot of like dash sidelights and stuff like that, then you might just steamroll them though. So like if they're super grounded and they're not like jumping around and stuff, try out dash sidelights. And if they're spot dodging them, dash at them and just wait. And when they spot dodge, then you get your full combo, you know? Alright, so kind of building off the last tip, for example, if you have stage control and you can dash at people who are like really patient, and if they're gonna mix up their options most of the time. Some people won't, but like let's say you have stage control, they're pushed to the corner, and you dash at them and do nothing. They only have a few options they can do. Like they can come and attack you, they can run off stage, or they can stay on the ground or in the air. And at that point, you kind of pay attention to what they do. So if you dash at them and they just stay on the ground and do nothing, you can just get free sidelights. If they're jumping when you dash at them, obviously you have options to counter that. You have a few. You can do dash jumps there. Dash jumps there covers jump, and it'll kill. Or if you want an option that can cover the ground and the air, you can do dash D-Light. Although they nerfed D-Light, so it doesn't hit as well on the ground, but it still does. So it's not a bad option. You could also do like dash jump fast while in air to cover both options. But yeah, you kind of want to pay attention to what your opponent's doing. If he's spot dodging, obviously you dash at him, wait, and then you can punish. Try to pay attention to what they do. If they're attacking instantly when you move towards them, maybe you just dash towards them and back up, or dash and then stop and wait for him to miss and then punish. But if you learn to like pressure in neutral like that, it's really good. You'll win more neutral interactions for sure. And since you have stage control in this situation, you're getting earlier kills and you're dying less early, and just winning more neutral actions in general. Also, if you guys are interested, I also do coaching on Metafy. You can check the description for the link. I'll teach you any region or any weapon, and I've coached a lot of people in the past, so I'm not too bad at it. Give it a look if you're looking to like take your game to the next level, and maybe if you're not so sure after this guide about your axe, I can help you get to the next level. Alright, that's going to be the end of the video, guys. If you felt like it helped you improve, I'd appreciate a like and a sub. Helps a lot more than you guys think, and I want to thank all you guys for the recent growth on my channel. I just hit 2K subs the other day. I really appreciate it. Peace, guys.